The following podcast may be explicit. Shedcast presents Adventures from the Shed, a tabletop RPG podcast. You can find us online at adventuresfromtheshed.com. Welcome back to our continuing Dungeon World campaign, Perils of Parandisi. Take a seat at our table as we bring in the Thief, played by Mickey, and the Barbarian, played by JJ, as they join up with the others at the monastery. Enjoy the podcast. Hi, and welcome back to the Shed for Adventures from the Shed. Today we continue our Dungeon World campaign, The Perils of Parandisi, where we are going to meet two new characters. But first, let's meet our regular cast members. Let's go right around the table. Start with you, Mickey.
Hi, everyone. It's Mickey. I'll be playing Damaya, the Thief.
Hello, this is Jongdon. I am also known as JJ. And I'm a little bit confused because is it Parandisi or Paradisi?
Parandisi.
Parandisi.
Is that not what I said?
You said Pandisi, which is
That's whatever.
That's where the pandas are.
It's going to be right when I type it out, don't worry.
okay.
I'm Chris. I'm the special guest. Super
You're very
special.
special.
I play
special.
Aglinor the Bard.
Emphasis on special.
Super special.
Hey, this is Kurt. I am playing Shadrock the Druid.
And this is Mike playing Snickle Fritz Bombus, everyone's favorite, known as Fritzy.
America's sweetheart.
All right, so how we're going to pick up here today is we are going to get our two new characters introduced into our party by our resident bard. How we're going to do that is very similar to how we got the druid and the wizard into our game. So we're going to start with Mickey, with Damaya. Can you describe where would Damaya be found in the world and what would she be doing?
All right, so Damaya would be in the city of Manx. When you find her, she would be at the town center or square buying some fine jewelry and fine clothing, spending Miss Lady Vostra's money. She's just spent the last couple of weeks with Lady Vostra milking her out of some much-needed coin while her husband's away. Because, you know, Damaya's that way.
My mission has just changed. I have to take her to a monastery?
I know, right? Let's see how this works out.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
So go ahead, Chris, with Aglinor. How do you approach this?
All right, so Aglinor is going to, while you're shopping, approach you. And pretty much...
What does she see approach? Let's give her the character description for Aglinor.
Aglinor is kind of, he's an elf. He's tall, slender, typical elf stuff. Dressed in just street garb, nothing fancy, or but he's certainly not underdressed. And he's just going to approach, almost like standing next to you, looking at the same items you're looking at, and then just say, "So how you been? How are you, Damaya?"
Well, elf, who are you?
Well, my name's Aglinor. Of course, you know who I am.
I've not heard of your perils or exploits. Should I know you?
Now, this is where we can use a Dungeon World move. If you look at the basic moves, and we kind of did this when the wizard and the druid were introduced, but under the basic moves, there's a spout lore. If you think your character may know about something, you consult your knowledge of it, and you come up with something. Or not, depending on your roll. But you would roll plus intelligence.
So do I roll? Or
Yes.
Okay, so Aglinor.
So 2d6.
Ooh, not prepared.
You need both of them.
All right, so I'm going to spout lore to figure out if I know who this Aglinor person is.
Yep.
So I've got a 3 and
Oh my, you get your first failure, I think.
A 2.
a 2.
Is it your initials? All right, your initials is 2. So that's 5, and add your intelligence modifier.
So a 6.
So essentially, no, you have
Mark
no
XP.
idea who this person
XP.
is, but you mark an experience.
Woohoo!
Yes. So not only do you not know who he is, but he has definitely invaded your personal space.
So now I am very wary of this person
Okay.
because my nature is to just be, given how I am, I'm just very cautious and suspicious of anyone I run into.
Well, I'll kind of chuckle and say it's nice to actually meet someone who hasn't heard of me for a change. It's refreshing.
Well, I don't know if I like someone who's so, I can't even think today, so crass or just wants to show off all the time. Elf.
Well, I'm actually here on business.
And what kind of business are you into?
Well, I've there's some problems I need help with.
And
Not personal, just that there's a party I'm part of that's adventuring has some issues. And I've heard that you're having some issues here in town, that you may be looking for a way out.
So you think you know me, Elf? And like she's kind of try to walk away, and you're kind of like I kind of vision her kind of going to different
and I'm
shops,
keeping up.
and you're just kind of keeping up. So what problems? You have problems. Why are they my problems?
Well, they're not necessarily your problems yet, but they will be someday. They're after something that's rising up in this world that's dangerous. And you are the probably the greatest thief I know of. And I know of a lot of thieves. And I'm trying to assemble a group of the best to go and tackle this problem. If it's a problem, it's a small problem now, but it will become a very big problem later, and it will become your problem later.
Now, would it be common knowledge that Demaya is a thief?
Yeah, but
That's up to you.
well, he says he knows other thieves, right? So
Yeah.
would I know someone that you know? Like, is there a name that you could drop that would give me a clue that you're into?
Yeah. The way I approach Aglanor is he's been around for so long that he just kind of knows. He keeps up with just about everything he sees that's important. He knows about. You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
If he needs to know who the best thief is, he's been around long enough to know how to get the name of the best thief.
So let's say like you drop the name of someone who I have respect for. So then all of a sudden I'm like, okay, so this guy's in, and you know that I'm pulling a job and I need to get out of town like yesterday. So as soon as you say that, she kind of warms up to him and it's like, all right, well, I need to lay low for a while to let the heat cool off of this latest job. So I'll listen.
Now, between the two of you, I need the name that was dropped.
Ooh.
Let's go with Belladin.
Belladin.
Sounds good to me.
Okay, got it.
I was
Not
going to
going
say
with-
Richard Dreyfuss, but
Not going with Skank the Shank.
Not Skank the Shank. He's the shady character. We'll run into him.
Bella
You don't
Dreyfus.
respect him.
Okay, so we have
Dreyfuss.
Belladin is now a thief in this world. Go.
Okay. So I'm gonna have to hit the road pretty soon. There.
Yeah, I can provide you a place to lay low. If you'll be willing to help out with our group, we can certainly keep you hidden from whoever's after you.
Well, I definitely need to say goodbye to Lady Vostra, if you know what I mean.
That's fine. You do whatever you need to do with Lady Vostra, and I will just wait here in the town square, I guess.
Well, it'll take a while.
okay.
I've got a lot of things I need to pick up.
That's fine. That's fine. I'll be here.
You'll be here.
I'll be here.
You can buy me a glass of mead, and I'll tell you more about it.
So Demaya can go wrap up the business that she has.
Yes.
Is there anything that you would expect that you would, I don't know, lift before you depart
Well,
that you don't already have on your character sheet?
Yes, Lady Vostra has this gorgeous necklace that I like that lays like kind of like right in her cleavage. It's something. It's an heirloom of the family, and that's kind of what attracted me to her originally because this is the piece that I want from this household because it's very valuable, huge diamonds. So she's going to go back to the house and like, oh, I've just received word that my family is in dire need. I must go to Victoria. I've enjoyed our time together, lady.
My mom's sick. I can't come in today.
I've got to go. I hear your husband will be back. And Lady Vostra's like, no, my husband is irrelevant. I'm going to leave him for you. No, lady, I would not let you ruin your life just for me. I'll remember us fondly. She's packing. She kind of slips the necklace and puts it in her pack and takes off. And Lady Vostra's distraught and crying.
And kills herself.
Because her redhead is leaving.
Well, she might. She might kill herself later. We'll find out.
Okay. When she finds out what I took, maybe.
Okay, so then after you're done packing up, you can go and meet Aglanor. And what's the next step?
All right. As we're leaving town, I'll kind of explain things to you, saying, I'm glad you decided to join us. What we're involved in is there's an old god that is starting to rear his head again. He's kind of been forgotten, but he's just starting to accumulate some power, and the rest of the others I've spoken with are already at a monastery starting to get on the trail of this issue. So that's where we'll be headed. But we have to make another stop before we get there. There's one more person I need to get involved.
Okay, so she's going to want to pump you for information about these people. Does
Okay.
that work in the game? Like she wants to know as much as possible about the other characters.
Would she not have to roll anything or a charisma or anything?
If she's asking you questions, it's up to you whether you answer them or not.
Yeah, I would.
Between characters, there really isn't a social mechanic.
Okay.
Right. Between characters and the world, the mechanics are there for parlay and whatever we want to put into it.
Gotcha, but not character to character.
Yeah, I shy away from it completely because we typically play a cooperative game. Mm-hmm. And if you want to keep something hidden from another character, it's only going to stay hidden for as long as I want it to anyway, because I'll bring it to the surface.
Yeah.
But it might be great for the story as it's progressing, but otherwise we just keep a cooperative party. So share what you want at this time and keep hidden what you want at this time.
So
but there's nothing she can roll to get more out of you.
So what is it you want to know?
So I'd want to know their names and kind of their some exploits about them. Anything I need to be aware of, or anything I could use to my advantage.
One of them, his name is Shadrock. He's an interesting person. He's been living in the forest for a long time. He's a druid, and you know how druids can be.
Yeah, I've run into a few of them.
Yeah, but he's a nice enough guy. I think you'll get along just fine.
Okay, and who else?
It's in the house.
There's one other person. His name is Snickle Fritz, and he's a wizard. He's a little odd. He goes by Fritzy, so call him Fritzy. Don't call him Snickle Fritz. He's very charismatic, but when situations get serious, you can depend on him.
Okay. So I'm the only thief
So far,
in this group?
So far, I've not approached anyone else.
Fantastic. I love to work alone.
Yep.
And we're going to a monastery, you say, and there's a god. What was the name of the forgotten god?
Azara.
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 With an H.
Hizara is the technical name.
And who are we going to pick up?
We're going to pick up a man named Strong Dawn.
It's always good to have some Strong Dawn. What is he?
He's a fighter.
Ooh, fighter.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. He's been fighting for a very long time, and he's just become available for us to get involved. With us.
He found him on Match.com yesterday.
I did. I found him on BarbarianMatch.com.
I use eHarmony for my matches.
Oh, yeah.
Anyway, it's always good to have some muscle on the team.
Yeah,
I agree with this. Okay.
What are you implying? I'm not muscle?
Well, elf. Let's be serious. Okay.
All right. So, anything else?
That's all for now. Like for right now, she just wants to observe you, and she's gonna periodically quiz you, tell me about the job that we pulled in Stevenson, or to see what you've heard and what you know about her.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Okay.
So he would successfully answer any questions you have like that.
Fantastic.
And he would not fall for any trick questions. Like when you said, "Remember that time I lifted that jewel," and you never lifted a jewel. Well, he would know that.
Yeah, that I could see. That would be the trip. At first, she'd be tell me about the job we pulled in Stevenson, or remember.
And I'd be like, you mean the job so and so pulled in Stevenson?
That's what he says.
Richard Dreyfuss pulled that job. I can't remember the other else. I got her name stuck as Richard Dreyfuss.
It's awesome that there's a Richard Dreyfuss.
So
I think the name needs to get changed.
When it's not Richard Dreyfuss, it's actually Belladin.
Can it be Richard Dreyfuss now?
I'll try and play it
There'll
as
be
Richard
another one.
Dreyfuss from Jaws when it comes up.
All right.
So you catch a ferry boat over to, and this isn't a boat of gay people, but it's a boat that just brings things back and forth between Kingsbury and
What's
Manx.
wrong with party boats?
And maybe you're having these conversations along the way. So a couple days go by, you arrive in Kingsbury. Now we're going to switch the scene here over to JJ and Strong Dawn. Whereabouts and what is Strong Dawn doing at this time?
Strong Dawn is relishing his freedom in the bazaar. He is just smelling all the various scents of the different foods and ethnic cultures that are part of this city.
Do the listeners know what he's
That's
relishing
just
his
about
freedom from? Do they know his background at all?
No, they don't, not yet.
Okay.
to
So
it, Kurt.
when you guys arrive, he is in the bazaar, the big town square area in the middle of Kingsbury proper, where people come in from all over. As a matter of fact, there were a few tradespeople on the ferry that you guys took, bringing stuff to the bazaar to put on display. Just about anything you can find, anything, including things like beaver pelts, are found in the bazaar. So spices, clothing, leathers, anything that you can find in the world is found in this capital of Kingsbury, and it's brought here from elsewhere. Kingsbury itself doesn't produce a whole lot because it's just a consumer capital.
Gotcha.
So that's where you find Strong Dawn.
So I'll mention to you, I'll just say, I'm going to try to convince him to come with us. Just kind of,
Is he friendly?
I'm not sure yet. That's what I'm going to find out.
Okay.
So he's been through a lot. So I'm going to approach you, and I'll kind of come up next to you and put my arm around you and be like, Strong Don, congratulations.
For what? What did I win?
For your freedom, man. For the,
Oh,
the
yeah.
ability to be here, looking at all this.
Have you tasted this yet?
Oh, is it good?
It's the spiciest thing I've ever eaten.
It's not supposed to be spicy.
What it is.
He's been eating like
It's so
gruel and
spicy.
water for 20 years.
So what are you going to do with yourself now?
I don't even know. Skinny John here contracted me out to kill some rats in his basement.
So you're killing
Skinny
rats,
John.
huh?
I am currently killing rats.
Okay, well, what if I told you I had a better job than killing rats?
Behind your computer chair.
What exactly would this job entail?
Well, I'm putting together a group to go adventuring, and it's something that would provide you certainly more fame of your own, certainly more than killing rats. I guarantee that. But it would be a job where you could go out. Imagine going into the wilderness with a group of your own free will, your own mission, your own goals. Nobody telling you you have to go fight this person and I get the money or I get the glory, but you have to do the work. It would all be yours to capture, as much or as little as you can take.
This does sound appealing.
Is Demaya hanging around close enough to listen in? I'm just curious.
Demaya, at first, she let him approach, and she's kind of watching from a distance, trying to see if the barbarian has any tells or anything that she could pick up on. She notices that he's kind of rough around the edges, and she deduces that this guy has been not around many women in a while. So she kind of scuffs herself up and tries to look appealing to a barbarian. He wouldn't be attracted to like a fine specimen.
How quickly do you grow a mustache?
No, I mean like this. You're gross. Not like this disheveled hair. Maybe tears her skirt a bit, and kind of dirties her hands, and kind of approaches them and goes, "Yeah, barbarian, how you doing?"
Why do you approach ruffian?
Approach ruffian. Well, I'm just a girl looking for a guy.
This is
Hoping
Demaya.
This
he
is a
will
guy.
love me. So you introduce me?
Yeah, I'll say
okay.
this is Demaya. This is one of the people you'd be adventuring with if you decided to join us.
Are you certain?
What do you mean? Am I certain?
Yeah,
I'm asking
certain.
you.
Yeah, I'm certain. She's one of the best
Odd.
thieves around.
What exactly is a thief?
A thief is somebody that when you have a task you need done, they're like helpers. They help you get the things you need to accomplish your missions without you having to get hurt yourself. Or if you need to be quiet about it.
I need more of this.
Does he have his globe or
More
something?
food.
No,
He wants
I don't
more
have
of
a
the food.
globe. I want more of the food. I'm putting it in a
globe.
bowl of curry.
You want more? Is there anything on his person I could lift to kind of show him my skills?
I have a basket on my head and a loincloth.
There's nothing like attached.
You could lift it. It's attached,
It's
I
heavy.
promise.
Careful.
Detachable penis.
Okay. All right. So, like he's off. Like just.
Do you have adventuring gear?
I do have the adventuring gear. I don't know if I would
So it could be
keep
easy-
it on me or not.
I'll say
right now.
I'll say, Demaya, why don't you see if you can go around and get this man a few more things to eat, a few different dishes to try.
A few different dishes to try. Okay.
Do you know of any good dishes?
Oh, I know of plenty of good dishes.
And she doesn't have to pay for them either. See, that's the benefit of having a thief.
I didn't have to pay for this either. I killed rats.
Oh well, okay, but she doesn't have to do that either.
Okay.
Just watch. Just wait.
So, like,
You don't know how to kill rats?
I have no
This
need.
isn't about the rats.
So Jemiah kind of casually goes around and, she looks an apple here and,
That's what I see
maybe
every
a
time you
plum
walk.
here, some nuts, and, comes back with like this little smorgasbord and hands
So,
it over to
Would
the
Strong
barbarian.
Dawn be watching her as she's walking around?
I'd be curious, yeah.
So when she walks by a table that has something on it, as she walks by, the thing vanishes. And it's like where she's walking by, she's leaving a non-trail behind her and comes back with the things that you see vanished.
And hands you a plate and says, "See, I can procure things. I can be useful,
And I don't have any rat guts on
and
my
I don't
hands.
have rackets on my hands.
But I wanted more of this.
I'm gonna shoot you." Okay, so as she presents him, and he goes, "I wanted more of this," and she kind of like reaches over and pulls out, like takes off his adventurer's pack, and he goes and like holds it up in front of his face and goes, "If you want more of that, I can get it with this." And you're like, "Where the hell? How did she grab that?"
Fair enough.
Anyways, so if I have to, I'll buy the damn curry.
It is good.
It's very good, but she did that to show you that that's the kind of the caliber of person you would be working with on this job. She's the best. She's the best thief around, and we need the best fighter. And from my experiences and from my knowledge, I feel like that's you.
I see.
I'm here to provide you with an opportunity to get riches, fame, and glory, or you can sit around staring at curry and killing rats. It's up to you.
That likes me some curry.
This is
Have
good.
mustard on it.
Can I get curry elsewhere?
There's curry. I can show you the finest curry.
We'll bring the
Then we need to
curry.
find-
And
Finest curry.
we'll even buy this curry for
All
you.
right.
I can show you the curry.
Hot and
Spicy and splendid.
Oh gosh, we're all over the place
Tell me,
today.
barbarian.
I will accompany you. But I
Great.
still don't understand how she could help.
Well, we'll just have to see how that plays out. She will help. I promise. I don't invite people to a party that are not useful. So
Are we going to spend the night here?
sure, I think that's wise. Yeah.
Okay, so while he's like, I still don't see how she could help, I'm just going to be like, hold on a second. I'm going to go get us some rooms. So she goes and fixes herself up and goes to the largest inn and sweet talks the inn owner into giving us 3 rooms for the night.
See, now you don't have to sleep in the rain.
But I already had a room with Skinny John.
But Skinny John smells. This is your room.
And he's super skinny. I mean,
You need to get used to the idea that you can have your own things. You don't need Skinny John. You don't need his room. And
But this is her room. She got it for me.
no, it's not. You have one of your own.
Barbarian, go in your room. Enjoy your rats. And here,
go to your room.
here's a bowl of curry.
We're gonna actually put the bowl like on the floor.
Yeah,
Like,
there's some
He kind
curry.
of bends over and shuffles towards it.
Oh, I don't want to see that.
oh God, no.
We're going to buy him some underwear.
Yeah. Don't let the boys
Burns.
out. No.
My eyes!
Now, the next day, you guys pack up and you bring them out. Aglanor will bring them to the monastery. So it's been approximately a week from the time Aglanor left the wizard and the druid at the monastery. And on your return, it's time for the party to meet each other. So we'll flip it around now between Fritzy and Shady or Shadrock. What are you guys doing as Aglanor comes back with 2 new party members?
All right. So when I got there, I was a little bit beat up. So the first day or so, I was just sampling the delicious Saint Angelique Stout all day long, and then after that, I found the group of dwarves. Their last name,
Hack Shield.
the Hack Shields.
Were you very drunk when you found them?
Yeah, yeah. But they're like the face of the monastery, because the monks have a vow of silence, so they're bringing in this money, but the hack shields take care of it. But I thought that I could use a ritual to maybe place some protective runes on the walls around the monastery, so that it would keep the undead people out, because I had a bad experience with the undead, and I do not want to get involved with them where I'm
That
trying to
was a
stay
pretty
here.
bad experience.
Yes. So, the ritual thing,
So kind of like what we just did with Mickey and Demaya, we're just going to let this one happen. And once we get the party together, we'll worry about rolls and stuff. But go ahead and describe what it is, because it is a wizard move, but don't worry about what it required this time.
all right. So, I went around the outside and like subtly etched different runes into the walls around there. So when undead would approach, and even if they try to go through the gate would have like this invisible barrier that wouldn't let them come in.
Okay.
So
there's just like 30 undead like trying to walk, and they're all just gathering up right there. They're
Like in
baby.
The Walking Dead, where they get stuck on these pikes and
Exactly,
they just
yeah.
keep trying to move. Yeah.
Great.
And while Fritzy's been doing that, I've been
but
staying.
it's super safe inside.
I've been staying fairly close to the monastery, but venturing out a little bit more, mostly because I find Fritzy initially intriguing and then very tiresome, and don't understand why he wears the top hat that he's wearing. And I need
Fritzy,
to,
baby.
I need to get away from him and spend some time with the animals and the plants in that are around the monastery.
Do you feel like Shady would develop any kind of, I don't know, attunement with the monks who aren't anywhere near as civilized as you have found other people? They have very strict routines, but there isn't, they have none of the fancy things around.
Well, I'm definitely intrigued by the monks because they seem much more solitary and quiet, which is more in line with my background, particularly over the last several years where I've been in the woods by myself. Actually spending this time with Alginor and Fritzy, while interesting and exciting, is very draining for me. So as essentially what we would call an introvert, I have to get back into nature to recharge. And so I've been out getting to know the animals in the area around, talking with them, forming bonds. The squirrels are particularly friendly around the monastery.
And although it's not nature, the monastery itself is as close as you get without being nature. It is all rocks and wood. The entire monastery is made out of rock, stone, or wood.
Right. It
So
does
there's
not
no
feel like
fanciness. There's no metal.
Right.
Like they don't have carvings on the walls that are gold etched and stuff like that. It's very plain.
So it's a very comfortable place for me, except when Fritzy's had too much of the ale.
And
then
then
it
he
gets
makes
very
it
loud.
uncomfortable.
Yeah.
But he's still amusing in his own way.
He gets a little too handsy when he gets drunk.
I know all
So
the songs,
perhaps you
too.
guys run into Shadrock outside the monastery before.
His blood.
Yeah.
That's when the blood tasting happens. All right.
So you may be outside the monastery. This group might find you first. What would you be doing outside that they might see? That they might want to see?
I might be actually climbed about a third of the way up a large evergreen tree outside of the monastery, trying to talk to a bird up there.
Dude.
So not the way I want to find you. Yep, that's our druid, I guess.
They're actually coming up the road to the
Yes.
monastery, and I'm up in the tree, and I can see them coming. And perhaps even before they see me, and I'm just going to stay up there kind of perched and see what happens.
So you recognize Aglinor, of course.
I'll say, hello, Shadrock.
This is what you have us hanging. A barbarian who's obsessed with curry and a guy that talks to birds.
He's a druid. That's what they do. Just
Maybe
I
you
see
could
this.
hop out of the tree and like turn into a bird and then fly down, and then like they'll be like,
That's exactly what I was thinking.
The key
I was
to the druid is an insane person talks to birds. A druid hears them back.
yeah.
Would I know that? Like,
That's
as soon-
actually exactly what I was thinking. So I'm perched up there, 30, 40 feet up in this tree, and I see them coming up. And I actually do like Alginor. We hit it off. We had a good time together.
I think you said it different each time.
Yeah, you have.
Have I?
It's been Alignor, Alginor,
I thought he said Eleanor at
I'm just
one
going
point.
to call
too.
him Adgley. Except I'll screw that up too.
Adgley?
See, this is why I did the name tags. He's wearing one.
I'm wearing a name
So I
tag,
see
man.
Aglenor, the bard,
Yeah.
who to me, I knew of and know he's been around for centuries and he's potentially this epic figure. So I actually will do exactly that. I basically jump out of the thing, momentarily turn into an eagle, soar down, and then walk up to him and say hello.
So I'm like mid-sentence. This is what you got me hanging out with? A freaking barbarian and a guy that talks to... What the hell is that?
See? He does more than talk to birds and animals.
Oh, shit.
And I say, well, it's easier than climbing down.
I'll say Shadrach, this is Demaya, and Strong Don. These are the other two people I had to go get to help us with our problem.
I'll look at them and nod quietly.
And I would say, on first glance, you would think that Strong Don really should have been there when you guys fought the skeletons, right? Mm-hmm. He would be the one person that would match up to what you wish had been around at the time.
That's what I'll tell you. I'll say, we won't have to worry about skeletons so much this time.
Excellent. So I'll nod politely, but be fairly quiet.
So where's Fritzy?
Yeah, and we'll leave that to Mike.
he like
Where's
gonna come
Fritzy going to
busting
be
out of the
found at this
monastery?
time?
So Fritzy's over at,
And we're going to say, as usual, midday. You're going to arrive midday.
I
just
think
so
the
make it easy.
that the brewery would have a little bit of a room where the guys hang out, and he's there and he's doing like basic magic tricks, like little like ring tricks and card tricks for the people, and they're like, oh yeah.
Prestidigitating anything.
Yeah. And every time he does something, they put another glass in his hand.
Oh,
And
so
of
you're
course
in the
he's like,
taste
oh,
testing
no, I
room.
couldn't. Oh, well,
No,
okay.
no,
then it's
oh.
this.
Quality assurance room. That's it.
Yeah.
Is this like proper magic, or are you just doing sleight of hand?
I don't think he does sleight of hand. He's way too cool with real magic.
It looks like sleight of hand, but there's a lot more magic in it than probably should be.
He's too lazy to sit there and learn sleight of hand.
Are you doing this for the dwarves or for the monks? Or
I'm
both?
in there for the dwarves because the dwarves are making the beer.
Yeah, the monks they're walking on doing their monk thing. You know what I'm saying?
Well, it's actually the monks that do all the distilling and the brewing. The monks do all the work. The dwarves make the money because they can talk.
They don't really. Yeah, the monks aren't really talkative.
Yeah, you would be hanging with the dwarves. That would be the ones that are putting stuff in casks and bottles and such. The workers on the assembly line, if you will.
Okay. So we all walk in?
Sure.
So I kind of like
We'll meet
hang
them.
back and watch him to see if I could figure out how he's making the cards disappear and whatever. And I'm like, that's not sleight of hand.
How is Fritzy dressed?
Yeah, that's whack.
Fritzy, like normal, has his long leather coat and his top hat on his head, but his top hat from the skeletons has a slash in the side that he has hastily stitched back together with some thicker than usual thread.
Of a different color as
Of a
well.
different color.
Oh,
Yes.
that's unfortunate.
So a patchwork top hat.
Yeah,
Nice.
I'll say that. That's Fritzy. I told you he was charismatic.
and
He's something.
I'll walk up to her and have my mug of beer, and then when I get close, I like do a hand motion, and the mug of beer turns into a rose, and I hand it to you.
Oh, we've got a smooth one, don't we?
Wait, where did the libation go?
Oh, barbarian, get in there.
We'd kind
Go
of
have a beer.
said last time with Fritzy, you in real life you find the hot girls with the weird dudes. He's that weird dude who
I'm
can
the
pick up
weird
all the
dude.
hot girls.
We've got a smooth one here.
Yes.
So who's this guy? Fritzy.
Yep, that's Fritzy. He's our wizard.
I am probably one of the only out of shape elves you've ever seen.
A pleasure to make your acquaintance, Fritzy.
No, the pleasure's all mine.
Oh, it will be.
Fritzy's a great skeleton killer.
Well,
Eventually,
he's a good tackle dummy, anyways.
he also stops them from reaching the ground.
Yeah, exactly.
So can I do spout lore to see if I know anything about Fritzy?
You can ask him.
Fritzy, have I met you before?
I don't know, baby.
I mean a lot of ladies.
I mean a lot of ladies.
You went kind of Stallone there.
It's-
I don't know. I mean a lot of ladies.
as far as that goes, your knowledge of other characters' normally is just whatever you learn from them or whatever you make up together. Aglanor's a unique character in this way because that character may become an NPC and rejoin back and forth as we have different guests or Chris comes back. That character is unique in that way, which is why we're doing the spout lore there.
Okay. So
And just for your knowledge, don't ever ask if you can roll. You'll
Just
be
do it.
told if you can roll.
all
For the
right.
most part, yeah, you're going to be describing what you're doing, and at some point that triggers the roll.
Okay. So have we met before? Fritzy. I don't know, baby.
I don't know, baby.
I don't know. You know. I just don't know.
I don't know.
I'm going to wander over and get myself a mug.
So tell me about yourself, Fritz. Can I call you Fritz?
The ladies usually do. Well, I'm the wizard.
Aglanor, as Strong Dawn is grabbing a mug of brew, the dwarves essentially look over to you for approval.
Mm-hmm.
They want to know it's okay.
Yeah, I'll tell him it's fine. Just don't get in his way and don't ask him about anything.
I
And
think
don't
I've-
offer him curry.
I think I've already told the dwarves that our friend Aglanor, the legendary Aglanor, will be covering her tab for this.
That could be why they look to him for approval. There you go.
I figured stuff like that would happen.
Okay. So we're chatting. I'm chatting you up. You're chatting me up.
So I'll come to you guys and say, so while we were gone, what did you guys find anything out? Did you investigate anything? What have you done?
Well, the Trenger Monastery is very safe right now because I added some runes to the walls.
Okay.
But the foreman here, Hackshield, he said that a lot of the transports are getting hijacked, and there's a bunch of monks missing. So it could be involved with your Hazara person, or it could just be some bandits or some skeletons.
Yeah. Well, it's worth checking out either way. I mean, if it's involved with this monastery, then we need to look at it.
Why is this monastery important to you?
Well, this was the initial place that I knew of there was trouble that I suspected was as a result of his aura and his actions. So, I would think anything related to this place I would like to look into.
Okay.
So
So
while you guys are standing around talking, the lead dwarf of the Hackshield company, Thargus, he comes up. Now,
Thargus.
yeah, Thargus, Thargus Hackshield. He knows Aglanor, and he has come to know Shady and Fritzy. But he comes up to you guys while you're chatting about, and he welcomes you back, and Aglanor, you've brought more.
Of course.
How goes the venture?
Well, we're all together now at least. I hope it goes well from here.
Good. We've just lost another shipment, unfortunately, headed to Kingsbury. You may have, maybe you hadn't passed it on your way here.
We did come from Kingsbury, but no, I didn't see any abandoned transport or anything.
Right. So, unfortunately, they're taking everything now.
Well, who are they?
Like what you guys described when you arrived, it appears that it's mainly things that have been, we'll call it reanimated, like the skeletons, and now we've actually seen animals that are coming back, from dead animals.
Okay.
So we had one of our transports came back with one of my family members. He was slashed up by what he called a dead bear. So that was a bit unfortunate.
So, do you know where these transports are being taken to? Somewhere we could go look into this?
We don't know at this time. We're not equipped to investigate that.
Okay.
Perhaps you are.
Yeah. Do you know a typical point in your travels where they go missing? We could start there. Some sort of
Not
ambush
even a
point.
day out on the main road.
Okay.
What if we did the next shipment? You got to have another shipment.
That's what I'm saying.
We have,
we need to
we're
we need to
working.
get in that spot.
Except for what the barbarian is all drinking. We are readying the next shipment to go out later tomorrow.
Okay. Well, then we should be on that shipment for sure.
Great.
So, everybody, gather your things, collect yourselves,
And get him to stop drinking so we can fill a cask.
yeah, stop drinking. Not, well,
But
don't
it is
stop
good.
drinking. Just tone it down a bit.
Slow down a bit.
Yeah, and let's get ready to leave out of here tomorrow.
So one of the things I want to check on, because we are going to go out on an adventure now, let's look at rations, because there are starting things that you have, and I know, JJ, you mentioned the Barbarian Strong Dawn did start with dungeon rations.
And
And when we count rations, the only one who doesn't need to count it, the Druid. Shady is at one with the earth, sustained by nature. Or I think it's by nature
By
sustained.
nature sustained.
So the Druid does not need to eat or drink. Everyone else will. So what we'd like to do, and now the monks and the dwarves will supply you with what you need, but what I'd like you to write down is maybe 5 rations. And everything in the game really counts in units, and it's a lot easier to keep track of. One dungeon ration is 5 uses, so you probably have 2 if it says 10.
yeah.
Right.
Should I take rations so I can
Okay,
give them
but
to other people from the dwarves? or
It's
do we
not
care?
necessary. I mean, it would really be up to you. Would Shady actually carry food for others? Being the person he is, the druid, the character, the outcast, if you will. Would he carry food for others at this point?
Probably
in his
not
life?
at this point.
Right.
So if I start with 5 rations, and you're saying we get 5 more,
Well, I'm saying if you don't have any, it's easy enough to equip yourself for the journey.
Okay.
Because they'll supply you.
gotcha.
Now, you can figure, based on information you have so far, you've got less than a day of travel. Unless you're stuck somewhere for 3 days, you're fine with 5 rations. Right?
Okay,
Okay.
I'm good with that.
So we'll do that. I think you had used up ammunition before.
I had, all of it.
Okay, so let's go ahead and put you back to 3.
Yeah.
So the bard can have his restock his arrows with the amount of trade that goes through here, and the guards they'll put on wagons every now and then. Normally, back and forth between Kingsbury, there is no danger. It's only started recently, so they usually only use armed guards on some ships that go out from Saint Angelique to other places. Now they're having to arm themselves more often, so they have some armaments there. Getting
Okay.
more arrows is easy.
Great.
And when you think of what you need for an adventure, does everyone feel like your equipment kind of covers what you need?
I believe so.
Okay.
I've got my poison.
I got my
Got
pipes.
my poison.
I can turn into a rattlesnake, so I'm good.
Well,
I
that's
got my
venom,
pipes
right?
I can blow.
I've been chastised for that so many times as GM or DM when I tell someone, the snake bites you and you're poisoned. That's venom, dude. Great. It's happened to like a zillion or 3 times.
A zillion.
Or 3.
Zillion.
One or the other. So let's make sure everyone's comfortable there. And what we'll do then is next day, it's kind of about 2, 3 in the afternoon. They get everything loaded up on a wagon that's pulled by a couple. We'll use oxen again. You guys are going to get on a wagon with
Yak.
oxen
I want
pulling
yaks.
it. Well, one of the oxen is named Yak.
Oh, okay.
How's that? So there are 2 oxen that pull the wagon, and it's a 3.5, 4 day journey to get to Kingsbury normally, but expecting problems, of course, can happen before then.
While we're traveling, I'm going to be playing the on my pipes. I'm going to be playing the song from Smokey and the Bandit. Got a long way to go and a short time to get there.
Now, are we supposed to be looking like
We gonna do what they say can't be done.
what do you call it?
You can't look
We're
like a group
vulnerable?
of dwarves. First off, so there's going to be something different.
Yeah, like, can we try to look vulnerable or something?
Up to you guys. How do you want to try to
So
look?
I get the brilliant idea that I'm going to put on a dress and a bonnet.
Take your armor off.
Oh, for crying out
Oh,
loud.
jeez. No,
You know,
that's-
I'm not sure they would have one at the monastery for you to put on.
They got robes,
Yeah,
and I can just fashion a bonnet.
there you go.
I think we should just hide in the covered wagon portion of this, and then just jump out the back.
I want to drive,
No,
but you told me I'd had freedoms.
you can have some freedoms, but you can't. But no one has complete freedom. You can have freedom within
then
the group.
Then the fine print hits.
You can't just do whatever you feel like doing all the time.
You
If
signed the
everybody
contract
did that,
already.
There'd be chaos.
But I want to drive.
Well, the dwarves need to drive. We need them to make this happen. If you drive, then we may not be attacked, and this is all a waste.
But I'm in a bonnet.
I know that's part of the problem.
How many wagons are there?
It'll be just one.
Just one wagon?
Yeah, it's one large, called like a flatbed wagon, with a bunch of casks on it and a few wooden crates that have bottles of spirits in them.
Spirits. Here,
So-
you could sit in the back and you can enjoy some of the spirits. Some of the spirits.
No, it made me sick.
Oh.
So
Hungover barbarian.
Barbarian.
as it's put together,
Cross-dressing barbarian.
there is one of the regular, I'll just call it regular dwarf, a generic dwarf, but the guy who's going to drive the wagon is part of the Hackshield family, Hackshield clan. It's Borden Hackshield, and he is a cousin to Thargus. They're all cousins.
See, I
of
thought you were
course,
going to call him Gene Eric.
Gene
Gene Eric.
Gene Eric.
Generic.
Generic. Oh, I get it. That's the other guy's name now. Thank you. The other dwarf is Gene. And he's the one that makes sure everything gets loaded up. And Borden checks the manifest, make sure everything is on the wagon itself, get you guys assembled. You're all ready to go. And they get the wagon started out. Now, what we're going to do is we're going to take this as undertaking a perilous journey because we know there is danger about. Ooh. So on the back of the basic move sheet is special moves, and there is undertake a perilous journey move.
So who wants to be the trailblazer, the scout, and the quartermaster?
And remember what those are. The trailblazer is who gets you there quicker or slower, depending on the role. Your scout is a person who catches danger before it catches you. And then your quartermaster is the person who saves on rations or eats them all themselves, depending on the role.
And those are all wisdom rolls.
based.
Right?
They're all wisdom, yes.
So I think on a mission like this, Chady has the best wisdom.
He should be the
So
scout.
he should be the scout looking for a danger because
Right.
we are
Worked well last time, didn't it?
Find the danger. I just don't always
I
deal with
might
it.
be the only one else with wisdom,
I have a 0.
so I could do one of the other two.
No, do you have wisdom?
No.
I did pretty well with the quartermaster thing last time. So
I can do the
I'll-
trailblazer.
I'll go with that.
Okay.
I mean,
Sounds good. Well, let's do them in the order they're listed. So let's go with the Trailblazer first, I think it is.
all right.
Correct.
Yeah. Trailblazer.
That's you.
Yeah, I'm blazing trails.
Blaze it.
6.
6. Well, there's a failure.
I get no bonus.
Okay. So perhaps you and Borden are sitting up front arguing about, should we really just be driving straight down the middle of the road? Should we go off to the side? We're trying to get caught, blah, 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 blah.
I'm trying to convince him to kind of
Yeah.
stay in the middle because I want to act natural, but he knows we're going to danger. He keeps trying to hide the cart and take
There
sneaky
you go.
ways, and he's being a
And
real
he is
jerk about
probably the whiniest dwarf you've ever had to deal with.
it. Oh God! Well,
And he's very nasal. So the whole time he's arguing with you, he's like, no, we don't want to be caught. We need to be going off to the side of the
my
road.
gosh. Okay, now I just want to kick him off the cart.
Yeah.
That's fine.
That's what you get for rolling a 6. Mark experience as well, if you
I
hadn't
did.
already. Good.
Don't roll a 6; you'll get a whiny dwarf. I'll do it.
Okay, the scout.
So I rolled a 7, and I added 2 wisdom modifier for 9.
That makes it a 9. Great. And quartermaster. So 9 is you perform as expected.
Ooh. I rolled an 11 plus 1 is
So
12.
because of that, what we're going to say is the amount of time you spend on the wagon, even through the first day, you don't need to use a ration because there's extra granola, Anglanor, or whatever.
Angliny, Ganglin.
There's extra rations on the wagon, so you guys grab some of that. And there's, of course, plenty to drink. As you finish off the first day, so you started out late in the day. You get only about 8 hours or so before it gets dark. And we're at that point, what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and make another or use up another move called Make Camp. So we're going to stop at the first night because one of the goals here is to get ambushed, captured, or something, right? You're trying to draw out the danger. Mm-hmm. So rather than just plowing through, we're going to take the Make Camp. And let's go ahead and use that move up. I'm sorry. We're going to Make Camp. And because of that, we're going to take watch. So it's actually 2 moves. I always think of them as one. At this point, nobody's gotten hurt. We don't have to worry about leveling up. You don't quite have enough experience yet.
Not yet.
Almost. Next roll, right?
Yep, pretty much.
And then we're going to use the take watch. So overnight, it's all wisdom again, of course. Yeah. So we'll split the watch up into just 2 people. because Borden will insist on keeping one watch himself, unless you want somebody to sit up with him. But we'll split it, 4 hours, 4 hours, and 4 hours.
Right.
They'll overlap.
You guys can take watch. You got
Yeah.
it's in your capable hands.
I think I'll take watch with the barbarian, so you and Demaya can have some quality time.
You mean wait till she's asleep and...
I never sleep with party members. It's a rule of thumb. I'll flirt with them.
There you go. So who is going to go first? As the sun is set, you finish up your meal. Again, we're not going to use a ration because of the good rolls from the quartermaster. But everything settles down. It's dark out. People are going to take a nap now. Who's going to be up first?
I'll let you have the first watch since it's a little lighter. Maybe my elven eyes would be a little bit better at night.
Okay.
Okay, so Kurt, go ahead and do that. Take watch. You're on a watch. Roll plus wisdom.
9 plus 2, 11.
Okay.
Kicking butt.
Of course, now is when I probably don't want to succeed on rolls.
No, this is good.
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
This is good. Because unlike before, you'll actually know before something happens.
You always want to succeed.
Yeah.
Always.
So, right near midnight, and this will happen on this first watch, right near midnight, you hear enough commotion in the woods around you to know it's not natural, especially as the druid. You know the noises you are hearing are of, let's say, it sounds like clumsy animals, which shouldn't be happening. You don't know many like wolves that go on three-legged races or anything. It's,
Right.
It'd be cool if you did, though.
That would be cool. So, would it be appropriate now to wake the other party members?
Does that disturb Shadrock enough to do that? It is a disturbing thing for the druid. Others might just hear noises in the woods. To you, this is specific.
What I would actually probably do would be to leave Strong Dawn and transform myself into a raccoon or something with good night vision and try to get closer to see what I could see.
Okay. Are you going to tell him?
Yes.
Or just leave him?
No, I would tell him that I hear something that he needs to keep watch, and then I'm going to go check it out.
Okay.
Okay.
And then I'm going to we'll walk out of sight and go, form of a raccoon.
So now you're going to do your shape-shifting move.
Okay. And I roll that plus wisdom. So that 10. Wow, I'm rolling today.
Good gosh.
10 plus 2 for 12.
So you're going to get 3 hold. Now,
nice.
you
Although
had described...
I am a raccoon. So
you had described turning into a raccoon as to have good night vision.
Spend one whole to eat
because
garbage.
I couldn't think of a bigger night vision animal off the top of my head.
That's cool. But what we'll do right off the bat is we're going to use one of your 3 holds so I can let you know what you see. Okay, with the purpose being that you turn in and have good night vision to be able to look around.
Right, and just so you guys know, the way my shape-shifting works is, depending on what I roll, I get 1, 2, or 3 holds, and a hold basically equals an action or a desired effect.
And Strong Dawn, as Mr. Shadrock turns into a raccoon before your eyes, you get a strong scent of pine. You were noticing smells and stuff before. You're not surrounded by pine trees, but there's a strong scent of pine as he moves away.
Interesting.
Yeah. His raccoons eat a lot of pine needles, apparently. So out there, use up one of your holds, and what you see is, for lack of a better term, decaying wildlife, like animals. You see a bear with fur and flesh rotting off of it, and it's just kind of lumbering its way towards your camp, as well as a wolf and what looks like a bobcat, or what remains of one. They are definitely not, living as you know them. They're not making motions or movements or sounds like living animals. And at the current rate they're approaching, they would reach your camp in probably about 5 minutes or so. They're moving very slowly.
Right. And we're right near camp.
Yeah, you're out maybe 100 yards.
Okay.
That's a lot for a raccoon.
Yeah. It's a long way.
He's quick.
Right.
Poor
right.
little guy.
Yeah.
I'm trying to think if there's any reason for me to stay as a raccoon. I've got 3 holds, but I can't think
Well,
of
you've got 2 more now.
Right, so 2 more. But I mean, really, at this point, I would run back.
Get in the garbage and then turn back.
Exactly.
You find 2 eaten apple cores.
I would run back shift back to human form and wake Fritzy. Because at this point, I'm more comfortable with Fritzy than with these other two.
He wakes up. That's Fritzy, baby.
It's Fritzy.
He's having a dream about himself.
That's Fritzy, baby.
I'm glad that when I go to wake Fritzy, he's by himself at this point. And I wake him and tell him what I have just seen. And
I'm laying in the back of the cart, probably made myself a little spot between two barrels or something, and I wake with a start when I hear him right outside the cart.
It's Fritzy, baby. And I'll tell him what I've just seen and that I think we need to take a defensive posture and to be ready.
All right, and then I'll start hollering for everyone else to get up and get ready.
Like, yeah.
Cups his hands to his mouth and says, "It's Fritzy! It's Fritzy! It's Fritz!"
Would I hear all this before
Once he starts hollering.
Before he starts hollering, or just when?
No, there's no real noise out there except for the person who was on watch that had an exceptionally good roll that noticed what was going on.
Okay.
And then if I can, after that, I want to transform into a hawk and go up to see what I want to look for is whether there are any humans behind or with the animals.
Okay. So go ahead and do that.
Owl.
6.
6 is not going to do
Mark
it.
XP. All right.
Dun,
So I don't. Does
So
that mean I
what-
don't see any humans, or does that mean I can't have good enough vision
There
to
are
see it?
different ways to work it. Essentially, the way the way I see it written is you get to turn into a hawk, but you don't really get much more than to do one thing, right?
Now, see,
But
that's
I
Or
like to
you're-
play it
or you're messed
differently.
up.
I like to play it as you didn't. Most of the time, I'll say it as you didn't get what you wanted. So, like sometimes someone goes to turn into like a rhinoceros to be able to charge through stuff, and you turn into a 2-foot rhinoceros.
Yeah.
Oops.
Or like in this case, you stay a human, but your arms turn into wings.
But we can do
Or in this
interesting
case,
stuff
it's
like
nighttime and hawks don't have good night vision.
that. Or right, but for
An
now,
owl would have been a better choice.
what we're going to do for now is we're just going to call it. We're going to make it easy. Call it a failure, and it's really just because I'm watching the time. It's going to be a failure at this point. You're not in tune right now. It's not working. Now that's not to say you can't try it again, but that failure propels something else forward.
Right.
That's the way it works.
Okay.
And others are waking up now. And
Get my
what
stuff
else?
together.
Who is doing what? So again, if Shady shared this information, you've probably got another minute or so.
I would like to start playing the pipes that I have to give a +1 D4 forward to the barbarian to Strong Dawn. So,
Now, if you could, while we're still getting started, just say the move that you're doing.
okay. The move I'm doing is called Arcane Art, and
Okay.
it says when you weave a performance into a basic spell, choose an ally and an effect. And the effect I'm choosing is 1d4 forward to damage.
Okay.
So, and it's a roll plus charisma. 10.
That'll do it.
So now you have basically +1 d4 to your damage.
I gotta roll another dice out.
Yeah, you
Next
got to
time
pick
you-
another die.
Next time you actually deal damage.
Yeah. If you fail your next damage roll, you still keep it until
Yeah.
you actually deal damage.
You got it.
Let's see if there's anything else.
I'm going to take a nice high spot on the wagon, and whenever I see something come out of the woods,
Okay.
I'm going to blast it with some magic missile.
Was Smagic Missile.
Magic missile.
I am going
Oh.
to look for some place to kind of conceal myself, and as something comes by, just
Okay.
slash.
Alrighty. So you're going to hide.
I am going to.
We are going to use Defy Danger with Dexterity for that. So you're going to roll 2d6 plus your Dexterity modifier, and we'll see how successful your hiding is. Very,
Very
very
successful.
successful. So Demaya disappears, essentially. Yeah. And it is sleight of hand, right?
Yeah.
Sleight of body. And Strong Dawn, any preparation on his side?
Like he starts pumping himself up, slapping his chest and doing a little dance.
Want to pump me up.
What's that dance called?
The haka.
The haka.
That's such an awesome dance.
Okay. So within another minute or so, you start to see the reflection of animal eyes in the woods, right at the edge of the light you have. And from behind them, you hear muffled voices. And they're definitely voices of humanoid type, right? So they're you can't make out the words, but there's somebody back there talking behind them. And that's where we're going to leave this one, right before your camp is set upon. And we'll pick up the next one right at that point.
My flute playing makes you feel all tingly. Don, just so you know. You're like, oh, this is nice. I feel like I could do extra damage.
I could do extra
All right,
damage.
next time.
Extra
All right,
damage.
everybody, you want to say bye?
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Penis.
Departing from the Order of Trenger Monastery, Aglinor, Shadrock, Fritzy, Strongdawn, and Demaya ride along with a whiny dwarf in search of answers to the undead menace. During the first night, they are attacked by zombie animals. Thanks for joining us. The preceding podcast was brought to you by Shedcast. You can find us online at adventuresfromtheshed.com.